Alright, greetings all. And welcome to what's essentially going to be like the first sort of shown video for Mysterious Castle here that you're basically going to see from me, I guess. It's basically a tactics roguelike adventure for iOS, Android, and web. And I caught notice of this game basically via the roguelike Reddit, where the developer actually posted there to recruit people basically for his beta of the Android version of this game. Anyhow, I basically already gone through this game and won it on the Android version. I'll note that there's basically some epic characters that are basically available on the Android version. They're not actually available basically here in the original version here, but that's just basically how it is. This hasn't been updated on the same scale as the Android version, which is basically fine. But hopefully it'll basically come soon. And I can understand let's play, so blah blah. And then you guys are here. Alright, so what's this video basically all about? Now, I'll note that basically with this game, there's basically some things that I didn't actually figure out until a little bit later, and I want to basically sort of sort of demonstrate to you guys some things basically get you into this game, how basically we may want to sort of approach it. I'll note that initially that I had gone through all these characters and I was looking at their stats, and unless the default stats basically these guys are sort of going to have when you basically jump into the game, so. You'll see the human basically has 19, 18, 18, 18 for stats over here, or 19, 18, 18, 10 rather. And you'll have 60 HP, 5 movement. You'll have 12 armor, you'll have 4 pick lock, and then 4 sneak. This will be before armor and equipment stuff that are factoring in, by the way. And if you look at say the troll for example, he'll have 20 strength, he'll have 11 dexterity, 22 constitution, 4 intelligence. This guy will basically have 84 HP. He'll have 5 movement. He'll have 7 armor. Pick lock 0, sneak 0. Blah blah. Basically, there's gonna be a lot of things that basically these characters are sort of set to basically have. But I realized basically while I was basically looking up all the stuff for these characters here. And note by the way, this also includes the Angel, Devil, and Vampire because I basically went through that basically as well. But something to basically note about this game is that you can actually customize the stats for these characters because it is that sort of game. So if I wanted to, for example, I could go and say this human here, we'll just delete him, and I'll basically create a human character. So he has no advantages, no disadvantages. There's his stats there if you want to look at it again. And you can actually basically set the stats for these guys however you basically want them to. And that's a cool way of sort of customize these characters to be what you basically want to be in the game. So for example, say I want to say human here to be a caster for example, as opposed to a fighter. You can actually do that. So I can reset this basically here. I have 25 points to spend. I have 10 stats for everything to be in for a human. So I can say go let's say he's gonna have 18 intelligence here. Let's give him 16 constitution, so he basically has a little bit of HP sort of to buffer himself. We'll give him at least 20 dexterity. And let's throw an extra here in constitution. So there's my sort of caster human is basically right there. So there he is right there. I'll note to the developer by the way, it'd be really nice to actually sort of edit the names of these guys. So instead of say this guy says a human, you could go in, edit his name, say Dave. There's Dave. And then you can actually sort of separate these guys a little bit, especially in the sort of web version we basically have here. I'll note this isn't available in web the Android version by the way. It's only available on the web, but you can actually go in here and say delete this character for example, and you can make another human for example. So let's say for this human right here, this guy's basically gonna also be sort of a caster, but let's say he's gonna have say casting of 15 intelligence. We'll give him 18 strength. We'll give him 18 dexterity, and we'll give him a little bit less constitution. So he's a little bit more of a more glass cannon, but that's fine. So this basically another human. And yeah, I'm not basically in the Android version you can actually do this where you can have multiple of the same character types. So I can actually go in here, stop editing, and have boom boom. Now I've got 2 humans here to basically play with. So yeah. Alright, let's just go back to editing here. I'm gonna get rid of this halfling. We'll get another non-human type of character here, for example. So let's grab ourselves the dwarf, and he would be right there. So tough, resilient, dark vision. There's this his stats right there. Now, note with like the dwarf here, for example, when I basically reset this guy, you'll see he's got like 8, 8, 10, 8. So dwarves basically start with like extra like 2 constitution, so he's a little bit more buff than like the the standard like modifier of like 8. Humans basically have like 10, 10, 10, 10 because they like have +2 to all like their like stats, but this guy basically has like +2 to constitution. So I'll note with the dwarf here. I'm actually gonna go back here a little bit. So note with the dwarf, by the way, that this guy basically has like the highest pick lock bonus basically in the game, and I may want to make a character like Ruger's type of character based on this type of idea. So let's just go into like the stats here. I'm gonna make this dwarf basically have the maximum amount of like dexterity possible of like 18, and let's just say we'll like give him like a little bit of like constitution to sort of help him out, and I'll buff up his like strength to like do I like that? No, let's just go like this. We'll give him a little bit extra health. So he's still like a tank. This guy actually like even better tank. He's just like less like infused by like his strength basically, so to speak. So there's that guy right there, and let's see. We've got like a caster human, not so much of a caster human. This guy here, and we'll keep an elf. Why not? Let's just go here to like the elf. That's this guy right here. Yeah, show elf details. So there's the elf. I've already got myself a sort of caster human, but let's say I want to basically have like another caster in my party. So let's go for the full like 20 int on like the like elf here. We'll give him a little bit of like a boost to like his constitution, so like it's not completely flimsy. We'll give him at least like 15 dexterity, so he can at least shoot the bow a little bit of stuff. Actually, you know what? Do we want 15 dexterity? I like to have like even amounts for like dexterity and strength, because this actually modifies their like hit chances for like bows and stuff like that. So I'll just give you extra HP for the constitution, because why not? He's an elf. He'll need the extra constitution. So let's do that. All right. So that's just something you can actually sort of do in this game. We can actually sort of edit these guys to actually have it so like you can actually basically see like what your stats are gonna like basically do for you. So let's stop editing, and we're going with these guys right here. I can basically like change the bonus around to like have like wound letter, normal stuff, equip well, equip like heroes. I don't know if I like eventual run I did the epic characters in the game. I have like equipped like heroes, so they basically have like really good gear basically starting off with. But you can start like dishcraft if you want to. This standard gear. Let's go with standard gear here, and enter the world. All right, so just to sort of look at these guys, by the way, just before we get into it. Let's look at the elf here basically, and like note that this guy's basically got some spells here. He's got basically like bolt, flash, side bomb, vision. Actually, I should note, by the way, this is actually not like a gameplay video. This is like gonna be like so demonstrating we can basically do these characters for the most part. So basically you can see like this guy basically has some spells here: bolt, flash, side bomb, and vision. Now, something I basically like noticed in this game, you can basically only ever I guess have like I guess you can only have like up to 4 like level 1 spells at the start of this game, but you're basically like the spells you basically have access to early is like basically intelligence. So note that these like humans I basically had here, I want to make them as cast as well. So if you go to the dwarf, this guy doesn't have any spells, but these humans here, this guy's got bolt and vision, and this guy here will have like another 4 spells. So what's basically going on here is that like we basically give these guys basically like intelligence to actually start to gain like spells when they basically start out. This guy right here, the guy at free rank, this guy's got like the lower intelligence, and the other guy's got like the like 18. So if you look at this guy's got the 15 intelligence, so that basically gives him access to like vision and bolt. And this guy with like the 18 intelligence basically has access to like the same amount of skills the elf basically has is like 20. So that's just something that's sort of like throw out there basically. Like if you have like inting of like intelligence of 18, you basically get like your spells basically and such. And on the base as well, I made this dwarf into like a rogue type of character. So if you look at like his pick lock down, he's got like +8. So some basic note about this game is that some of these skills basically in this game, Arcana, Dark Vision, Pick Lock, Sneak, and Spot, they're sort of based on your stats. So because basically I got like the 18 like dexterity for a dwarf, and because this guy has a +4 Pick Lock, he's ending up with like a +8 in Pick Lock. So he's really good about like picking locks if he wants to. And he also has like fairly decent constitution, so he can basically see pretty well. I'll note this like human over here has a 17 has a 17 Constitution. He has Dark Vision free, but because this guy has the bonus, he's like +7. So yeah, basically I have like Dark Vision, Spot, all nice stuff here basically. Also note their HP by the way. You note this guy's like 69 HP, this guy's like 59. So dwarves basically have +10, so basically like equal Constitution. This guy has like 10 less, but they're still like pretty beef. The elf basically had like 15 here, so it's like an even 50 like HP. This guy had 14, so even though like the elves you generally have like a -2 of Constitution, if you don't actually give them like more Constitution like the other guys, you'll actually have like less Constitution as a result. So this guy's like 48 HP. This guy's like 50. This guy's up to 59. So all good stuff for these guys basically. All right, so the thing about this game is that the thing about like customizing your characters is that it's very important for like making the characters you basically want to actually play the game with. Not basically, for example, if I actually like just went in with a default like lineup of like characters there, I guess. So let's just go new game here. Note this dwarf here by the way. If I basically like just like went like this, and we'll just like ignore like the or the other like human I could have made there. I'll note that with the dwarf, he can't really take advantage of his pick lock ability if you don't actually like customize him. So if I go into like the dwarf here, for example, his pick lock basically was down to like +5. And basically what's going on here is that like this guy basically has like a natural +4, but because his like dexterity like scores like so much lower, his modifier for is basically only +1 as opposed to like +4. So he's not as good as like pick locking anymore. And if I actually look at some of the arc characters basically around here, this guy's like nearing like +4 here with his like 18 dexterity, and even the human basically has like a +3 like ability to pick lock. So there is that. By the way, note this guy's like 66 HP right now. He's got like 18 Constitution. This guy's like 20 like Constitution, so he has like 85 HP, and yeah, 11 Constitution, 32 HP. Here's another reason to sort of customize your characters. By the way, I would never go into this game with like a Constitution like that low. By the way, for like the elf, because this guy is frail, and this like give him that like little bit of a Constitution. This is gonna make him like glass cannon. So it's not a good idea to basically do that with like the elf. You want to give him at least some Constitution. So I probably like would either like take down int or dexterity based on like what the stats basically sort of do. By the way, to the developer, it'd be nice to actually explain like how like intelligence basically factors into like casting spells. I realize basically like intelligence basically like makes your spells better. Like you summon more skeletons or like making like higher like grade skeletons. But if you just want to like sort of like just cast like spells like say like that like before I basically had like the like into 15 and human, he's able to like sort of like cast vision. If I just want to like say like cast vision, like it's pretty listed like what the like spell space require for like casting spells. So if I just want to have like say like a guy that basically cast vision, then like how much like of like how much of a stat basically do I basically need to sort of get that spell, and like what are like the hard points basically I can sort of get to. That's really important for like a D&D style game like this, by the way. Now, I just want to sort of like show off something to you guys basically here, so we basically sort of learn something. It doesn't matter what character basically sort of like basically have for like the intelligence scores. So here's a wolf basically right down here, and we're just gonna make ourselves a party of wolves. So super cool, but it's a wolf. Here's the details for the wolf, by the way. So don't do what I'm basically about to do, but just want to show it off anyways. We're gonna set the stats for the wolf. So let's give this guy 14 intelligence. So that's one less than like the human from before basically had. Now note that like wolves can't pick locks, but I'm just gonna give him like 20 dexterity anyways. We'll give him like 16 like Constitution, and we'll give him a little bit of strength. So this makes absolutely no sense for a wolf, by the way, because like even if he has like high dexterity, he can't like use bows or anything like that. He can't use equipment because he's a wolf. So let's just like finish that. So this guy's like 14 like what you call it, intelligence. We're gonna give this guy basically 16 intelligence, and let's just say we'll give him 16 Constitution. So let's just go for like a little more like balanced build right there. So even Constitution and Intelligence. And we'll go over here and create this guy. Let's just keep him, sort of like, there. Let's go with 12 Intelligence. See if that's basically enough to basically get a spell or not. Actually, let's go with 13. And let's go like, 13, 13. Max out his like strength, and we'll give him like, the rest in like, dexterity there. So that's my like, part of like wolves basically I can like make right here. So yeah, so let's enter the world of like, spellcasting wolves. And this is silly, but I mean, if you have your like Tales of Magiel vibes, I guess, then why not? So yeah, here's my like part of like, 4 wolves. And yes, note that these guys basically have some spells. So this guy's Bolt. This guy's Bolt and Vision. And okay, so yeah. I'll note that like, with like, a score of like, 14, you basically get access to Bolt. And 15 basically gets you access to like, Bolt and Vision. You don't get anything at 16 though, so if you want to basically get like, more spells like, for your wolves, 14 is enough to basically get Bolt, 15 is enough to basically get Vision, and then 16 doesn't get you really anything. A little bit, by the way, for these guys, like stats here, by the way. So this guy, like, 13 int, so that's basically too low to basically get anything. So you need like to have at least 14 score in int intelligence to basically get any sort of spells. And a little by the way, like, just having Bolt is actually not a bad idea for a character because it basically means you can actually use it to like, what can I do about it? You can basically kill ghosts, is the thing about with Bolt, right? So even if it's like a weak little spell, you can actually do that. And if you have like, Vision, for example, you can actually use that to like, sort of spy on like your enemies. And that's really crucial for this game, by the way, spy on enemies, like, sometimes in combat. So yeah, there's that. Alright, so, unless these guys have like, 20 dexterity, and this guy, 16 constitution, so this is HP. This guy, 19, is like 68, so 57, 68. These guys are same constitution. This guy only 13, by the way, is 41, so I mean, you want to pay attention to like your stat base for a lot of stuff as well. Another thing to the developer, by the way, really nice that you actually like sort of like see like this like sort of screen here as you're sort of customize your characters, because like you're really helping like sort of like character creation, which is actually I think a big part of what this game could be. Having preset characters is nice and all, but it'd be nice if I could actually like make the characters as I desire them to be. Alright, so basically know that like at 14 like intelligence you basically get Bolt, at 15 you basically get like access to like Vision. Let's just like sort of a quick go in here to start off the air care. So let's just add like the human here again. So we'll set this guy basically have like 17 intelligence on human here, and we'll just give him like yeah, let's sort of make this human like he's a caster again, so he's basically got like a little bit lower intelligence, but I mean you can still do stuff. So there's that guy right there. Let's make another human here right here. And it's gonna just like slowly just go up here to like the finger. So at 18 intelligence, basically, I think it was, you basically get access to like all the spells. So let's just go play around with a gnome, for example. So we'll take this. So note this guy basically like 16 like intelligence, you basically get access to like level 2 spell. So best for like it's important to have like 16 intelligence for a character want to get like the access spell on this guy, I guess. Let's get Constitution. And a little bit extra for like the gnome because he is a gnome because he has 8 less HP. So there's that gnome right there. Let's go to the Elder. These guys actually have like a bonus of like an extra spell like 18. So let's just do that maybe. So we'll set this guy. He has like a natural like 20 when we start him, but let's just go with like 18 and whatever. So there's those guys right there. And you know what? Why not? Let's keep this guy as well. So we'll stop adding. Let's go boom, 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 boom. Alright, so, um, here's basically like intelligence of 17 for this, like, human right here. Note that basically, like, intelligence of 17, you basically access to, like, flash. So, basically, if, like, 14 intelligence basically gets you bolt, 15 basically gets you bolt and vision. At 17, you basically get access to like, flash. And of course, like, at 18, you basically get access to, like, oh shit, one of these guys maybe here. You get, like, access to all 4, like, of your, like, star tier skills. Note, by the way, the 4th one's always random, so it's possible you have, like, shield here. You can have, like, I think heal. You can also have, like, some air spells as well. And note, by the way, this guy, like, this elder here, he basically has access to, like, at, like, huh. So, the guy of like, the national 20 here, this is a guy right here, he has, like, access to, like, his thing here. So, there might be a mistake basically for his character. So, it says 18 or greater, you can basically access a little free spell. So, that's probably like something that has to be like sort of edited by like the developer, like some of the stuff right here. But whatever, some misinformation. There's some misinformation for this game, by the way, that needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But the game's still in development, so I guess it's to be expected. But whatever. But anyhow, basically like this guy here, even at like level 1, he still gets access to like all 4 of his stuff right here. And then this guy, I guess, like he gets his like little free spirit like 20. So there's that right there. This guy gets access to his level 2 one, like 16 intelligence. So it's like ice ray, and even though like basically at 16 like intelligence didn't really get anything. The first guy he gets like that extra thing, so there's that for him. If he's basically like 17 intelligence, he basically access to like flash, and like at 18 he basically access to all 4 things, right? So there's that for this guy. Basically like way basically if it's like worth it by way to actually do that for you, but whatever. All right, so that's just sort of like a quick little like take basically like the importance of like intelligence and stuff like that in this game. And I've gone for like about 22 minutes. So part of the reason for like making this like videos basically sort of like demonstrate like you can customize these guys to sort of like get like different things out of them. And you know what? Let's just sort of say like say like what would be my sort of like optimal basically like sort of part basically make here. The thing about like this game is that you want basically sort of like balance out like your like sort of attributes for like these characters here, so that like you have like a balanced party. For example, say you want to have like sort of like a stealth guy, a guy who can sort of like pick locks, cast magic, and like hit stuff basically. So we're just gonna delete all these guys right here. Now I don't know if it's basically gonna be a thing in the future where like you can only like choose 4 characters of each different race. So let's just say that your party base has to be like 4 different type of characters. So I'll note that basically like the chief character you should always basically start off if you're new is basically go with the troll. So let's just take the troll here. These guys basically have like regeneration, so he basically like regenerates like 5 HP every turn. He can't wear armor, which kind of sucks for him. But I mean, being able to regenerate is like a big boon for him early on. So we'll get this guy. Naturally, this guy basically has like high constitution and high strength. And I'll note by the way, basically like let's look right here. Basically, he's like got like all his points basically in like strength and constitution, and he has like the rest of it in dexterity. And that's basically like sort of like fine, I guess, for this role if you just want to sort of keep him like that. So of all the races, this guy's like the one that's basically set up as I think is fine. So there's a troll. Now a lot of people like to say like in this game that stealth is really important. I'm not really a big fan of stealth in this game. I find like it's sort of like not that useful to really use. Like you can basically use to sort of like scout around, basically find stuff. But I find that like enemy successfully makes their spot checks a little bit too often, so it's not really worth your time. Basically, really worth it, worry about it. So let's just say like I want to make like say like a stealth character though is as an idea. So the best characters basically for like stealth are like not the kobold, but well yes, the kobold is not a bad thing for stealth. It's like it's like that guy negatives for it, but you want to basically play like a halfling. He's got like plus for a sneak. The Knoll here basically has like a bonus to dexterity, so he's at least like okay at. You have like say like a +2 to sneak on like the links here, and dexterity. No problem for links here, by the way. This guy can't really pick lock that well, so this is actually a character that you can actually like sort of like pair up with the dwarf really well if you want to have like say the dwarf be like a a locksmith for you, and this guy can be like sort of like a sneaker. And think about it just like sort of like that. Maybe I want to sort of like show that off. So let's say the links here. We're gonna basically make this like guy. Let's see here. I don't like having like that sort of like low constitution on this guy right here. I mean, like having like high dexterity is nice, but let's see here. You know what? Let's go like this. So we're gonna make this guy like a little bit more beefier. There's like a links. We'll go to like the dwarf again, as I basically shown off before. You can actually like make these guys like really good locksmiths. So let's just give us like 18 dexterity. We'll give this guy like you know what? I'm actually gonna attempt to show off something. Let's go like 18 like this, and let's go like that. We're actually gonna keep the links basically as he basically is. So I wouldn't recommend using this guy's like constitution a little bit low, but let's look at this guy right here, and you have a fighter. You technically have like a mix of like rogue and fighters with these guys, and then I can have like a spellcaster. So let's see, you have like the lizard man here. You have like the gnome. Now, no, by the way, as I basically said, by the way, you don't actually have to like keep like your gnome, elf, elder, or like lizard man as like your spellcasters. You can always make someone else basically spellcaster if you want to. And let's just see here. Who could be like a good spellcaster that basically isn't these characters, by the way, is the thing, right? So this guy basically has like a lower armor constitution, so he's not really that great for that sort of thing. The kobold's not bad, by the way. He's like got like some rapid shots basically like there. He's got like flanking. He's not terrible. Orcs don't have like penalties to initiative or anything like that, and they have this stuff up here, I guess. By the way, I really would like to learn about the ratio a little bit. Like does this maybe affect like a caster, for example, at all, or is it just like only for like melee like attacks and stuff like that is a thing, right? And let's just see here. Half elf is basically over here. You know what? Let's say we're gonna have like a half elf caster. So we'll take this guy right here. We're gonna basically boost this guy up to like the full like 18 intelligence, I basically guess. I'm trying to think here. 14 for bolt, 15 for vision, 17 for like flash, 18 for everything else. So yeah, basically with 18 like intelligence, basically gets access to like his full like roster of spells. Give like a little bit of constitution and a little bit of this. Maybe like that, like he's still a bit of a glass cannon, but he's not as terrible as an elf. So maybe we're gonna make this sort of like lineup basically for like your characters basically here. So the idea is like when you're basically setting up these like characters, you want to basically sort of set them up so like they like sort of like have like all the bases basically covered. So the troll's basically like your super like standard like fighter. The lynx is basically sort of like a sneaky fighter that can also basically like stealth if he needs to. Dwarf really can't really stealth, but I mean he's like more defensive at least, so he's got like more armor as a result of like that extra dexterity. Halfling can at least shoot stuff, and he's got like less like promises like the the elf. So it's basically go into like these guys right here, for example. So enter world. So this is sort of like showed off again. If I go to like the half elf, no, he's got like all 4 spells. And yeah, note this like this 4th spell like it always like is randomized, I guess. That's actually some note by to the developer. It would be really nice to actually sort of like pick what spells you get if you want to. So if you want to have like sort of quicken, yeah, you can have quicken. If you have like shield, you can have like shield, stuff like that. Heal would be really nice. All right, so these other guys basically didn't really do anything, but it's fine. So let's look at his stats basically here. Like a fairly standard stats for like the troll there. It's like the same as like always like 84 HP because you got like the maximum constitution. Pitiful armor, but you got regeneration, so that's nice. So regenerate +5. So here's the links by the way in standard form. I would like to usually have this guy with a higher constitution, but with very high like dexterity like this, he's got basically like, a sneak of like +8, which is like, super high. He's also got the dark vision ability as well, so like, he's really good about searching around as well. So this guy's basically like our scout, basically for the most part. There's the half elf right there. He's basically got like, no, this stuff doesn't really matter. Basically, this guy's a caster, basically, for the most part. So, that's basically what this guy's all about. There's a dwarf right here. He basically has like, access to like a little bit of dark vision, but his major thing is like is the pick lock, basically. So, I'm not both like the dwarf, by the way, because he's like got such high dark vision like this. He's actually fairly good as like, a lead character if I want to like sort of run around like not stealthing, or like entering like a a caster or something like that. But this guy's basically good as like, a sort of backup, basically sort of to like not stealth, but basically run around like trying to look for stuff and like not be seen. But I'd probably go with like the dwarf here because I'm not. This is something about the links, by the way. I really don't think much about the links because like again, I don't really think much of sneak in this game. And even though you could have like really high sneak with this guy, for example, it doesn't feel that beneficial as a result of like how this game basically is. Yeah, no, by the way, as well. This guy's has similar dark vision to this guy, so I mean, if I wanted to stealth, I could use this guy, but I probably just like actually with my ideal team, I probably would just like throw this guy out and like get someone who basically maybe like a Lynx, but someone who's basically like more like beefy and like capable of fighting. So I have like 3 type of fighters, I guess, and of course like our caster. So actually, it looks like a pretty good, decent like sort of caster because this guy can actually shoot as well as like cast stuff. So there's that about him. What would be my ideal team, I guess, for like basically play this game? Let's just like decide here. So I'll note that I basically played like the troll basically like in my like epic gameplay, so probably gonna use him again. But if I was basically play this game basically again in the future, I don't think I'll basically do like another run by to the developer. But I mean, I did at least once. But let's just like delete these guys all again. So boom, 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 boom. What would be my ideal like team basically play with? So I'll note that I really like the idea of like the dwarf, basically like being like a sort of like locksmith type of character. So let's just grab him, and we'll just go like reset, max this basically out, give him at least like that much. Yeah, we can give it a little bit more. So fairly balanced dwarf. Basically, he's got like enough like constitution to make him like a tank, but he's like my primary locksmith for the most part. So there's a dwarf right there. Spellcasting characters. Because like I'm actually really tempted to like test out like some of the tier 3 spells. I never really got around to doing it. I probably maybe play the Elder here. And now this is actually something I know about the like the spellcasters. I feel like you really want to basically have like some HP in like spellcasters because like they're really squishy. They're not really like made to like use dexterity and stuff like that. So what would I probably do with this guy right here? He has a bonus to like arcane intelligence, which is obviously awesome, but I actually want to test something, by the way. If I actually have like 19 intelligence, does that like affect this guy at all? So let's just lower that down to like 19, and let's just go 14. Look at my caster a little bit of HP there, right, Des, and then we'll go maybe like this. We'll just like test to see if like that's actually enough to get us like 4 spells and like his tier 3 one as well. So basically, just like a dwarf like locksmithing, just like this guy for like spell casting. Then I want to have like say like 2 like real powerful grunt spaces to sort of play around with. I'll note that Minotaur is like kind of interesting right here. He's not really good about like flurry or like spin attack, which is like something I basically found to be very useful basically later on. But let's see here. Orc's definitely very like appealing, by the way, because he basically has like attack, strength, a little bit of power strike, rage. Even though I'm sort of like tanking on the links here a lot because he basically has like sneak. He does have like flurry, which is a +4, which is like massive. But so probably not really needed that much. This guy can flank. By the way, rapid shots feels kind of useless because bows feel a little bit useless in this game. So sort of on that sort of front. There's this guy's like, bonus to power attack and spin attack, I guess, and damage resist. Though I was really hurt by that initiative. Half elf basically says like, extra movement, like the elf. He has like shooting, dexterity. Can't shoot offhand, which is pretty nice, by the way. I can actually make this guy like, a frontline fighter if I want to. So let's just sort of show that off. Basically, we'll also have like this guy be like, a sort of frontline fighter. We'll give him like, maybe something like this. So basically, like one of my frontline fighters. The thing about the half elf being able to shoot off hands, I can actually use like, say like heavy crossbows or like, longbows basically in common with a shield, or if he's like dual wielding. So he could like be like my damage dealer, for example. And let's just say like, for like a fourth character, who do I basically want to be? I like the idea of like the Knoll, but he just feels so flimsy of like, lack of constitution, armor, and shooting. So this like, this guy feels like a little bit too weak, basic thing, right? He does have riposte, which is nice, and initiative, but he feels that it's a little too weak, basically, to sort of use. For like the fourth character, I might go with the human, make him sort of like a spellcaster, but let's just say I'm going to go with like, the half ogre here, for example. So this guy basically has a natural like, 20 strength, 20 constitution, which is, fine, but let's go like say like 17 constitution, like the, this guy. Boost this up a little bit, boost this up a little bit, so I mean, it's not really going to be shooting, but I mean, the extra dexterity makes him a little more like, beefier, I guess. Sort of like to show us basically off, by the way. If you go to like your attack, basically, or your attack stats, basically. So attack stat, how lucky you are to hit an entity with attacking. So basically, like see like all that stuff. In this game, basically your stats, basically like your melee attack and like your dex attack and all that stuff. It's basically based on your strength. But dexterity is like important for like this defense. So this guy actually like counter initiative and stuff like that. Or do I really care? I could actually like hmm. We gotta say probably reset, but whatever. You basically get that in like the red version, by the way. So that's a human. That's why I'm doing it wrong. So where's the half ogre? Half ogre. There we go. All right. So let's say like for like my like next feat here, for example, I may want to go with these guys over here, sort of like play around. So locksmith, spellcaster, special like damage dealing to a fighter, and then like the tank. So let's just enter the world. Yeah, a big part is like what I'm basically doing here is basically showing off like how you basically like set to basically up to like cover your base and such. So dwarf basically like able to pick locks. He's actually able to see stuff. He's probably my best lead character, by the way, this guy right here. So I could probably lead him off with like that sort of thing. There's a half elf. So nothing with the half elf here, by the way. This guy's basically good about like shooting, rapid shots, flurry, all sort of stuff. That's probably because there's like stuff down here, by the way, but whatever. But these guys right here, they like have like okay HP, but this guy's got like the most. Half orcs also got the dashes, and the opponent's got like chain, which is nice. Then there's the elder over here. Let's just check to see if he actually got like his like spell then. So he's got all 40 spells here, and there we go. He's got a little free curse. Oh, he's got curse. So there's this this spell right here. I'm not sure really like care about curse, by the way, in the game. And by the way, this is actually something to note, by the way. I never actually see like the enemies basically cast this on me, by the way. Is this like something that like permanently affects me in combat, or is it like something that basically like wears off over time, basically if it's basically casting your characters and stuff? some thoughts basically for a developer to basically think about. Alright, well, this is why I sort of mess around video, basically sort of like show off, like, character creation and stuff like that, because I never really did that. Hope you guys basically enjoyed it, and, like, just take care.